Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Diary from On the Hot Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of boxing. In today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia officially happening next in the sport of boxing. So a week ago, we seen the news break, the saga, the drama, everything that was transpiring with Canelo Alvarez. And the big news that we seen last week was Canelo Alvarez's official opponent officially announced for his return back to the sport of boxing for May 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend in the sport of boxing. And it is now confirmed that Canelo Alvarez will be defending all four of his undisputed super middleweight titles and a title defense against Jaime Munguia May 4th on Cinco de Mayo weekend. A Mexican versus Mexican showdown taking place on Cinco de Mayo weekend. So with that being said, the fact that Canelo Alvarez is making his return back to the sport of boxing, and the fact that he returned back to the PBC, back with Al Heyman and Amazon Prime, to fight a Mexican fighter not named David Benavidez, and instead he's going to be fighting Jaime Munguia on Cinco de Mayo weekend, shows me that Canelo Alvarez wants nothing to do in terms of fighting in the ring with David Benavidez. You guys can say what you want, but I believe deep down that Canelo Alvarez is truly afraid and scared to get in a boxing ring with David Benavidez at this point. How, and I'm never going to take anything away from Canelo Alvarez. He's one of the all-time greats. His resume speaks for itself. He's done it all in boxing. But when you have an up-and-coming guy in David Benavidez who has done it all, been the mandatory for the WBC super middleweight title for quite some time now, he's cleaned out the division, beating Caleb Plant, beating Demetrius Andre. What else does David Benavidez need to prove that he is the rightful number one contender for Canelo Alvarez's WBC world title? And how is he not deserving of an undisputed championship fight with Canelo Alvarez? Again, that is unfortunate that Canelo Alvarez is not giving David Benavidez his true opportunity, but I think the fact that Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia could be a good fight. You have Jaime Munguia, who is a powerful puncher in his own right. He has a good stiff jab, and his power going up against Canelo Alvarez, one of the dangerous power punchers in the sport of boxing today. It's going to be interesting to see how that matchup plays out. Can Jaime Munguia get on the inside against Canelo Alvarez, or fight on the outside with a stiff jab and his power against Canelo Alvarez, who is a power puncher? Can he get inside and crack the code to Jaime Munguia, something that no boxer has done, Jaime Munguia being an undefeated fighter? Can Jaime Munguia run away from or avoid those powerful punches that Canelo Alvarez packs a punch into when he fights on the inside? It's going to be interesting to see when those two fighters get in the ring with each other. I mean, it's not the worst matchup, but it's definitely not what we want to see. But I think it's a little intriguing to see where this matchup can go, because if you guys remember Canelo Alvarez's last performance, 2 performances ago, against John Ryder, and you look at Jaime Munguia's last performance, it was against John Ryder. And Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder, from their time slots, in terms of fighting John Ryder, it was a turnaround of 8 months. So they fought the same fighter within the last 8 months. Now, subtracting to the point where we're in March now, and John Ryder fought Jaime Munguia in January, that's 8 months. From May of 2023 to January 2024. But you look at Canelo Alvarez's performance against John Ryder. Yes, Canelo Alvarez did send John Ryder to the canvas. He did score a knockdown, and he broke his nose in the 5th round of that fight. But Canelo Alvarez was John Ryder was giving Canelo Alvarez some problems, some issues as the fight went on, and in the later rounds of that fight. Canelo Alvarez won that fight comfortably by unanimous decision. But then you look at what Jaime Munguia did when he was in the ring with John Ryder. Sent John Ryder to the canvas. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, scoring 4 knockdowns in that fight and knocking out John Ryder in the 9th round of that fight when Jaime Munguia and John Ryder were in the ring together. So it's hard to do this based off of opponents fought, but that's a quick turnaround of fighting the same opponent within the last 6 to 8 months. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see when Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia get in the ring with each other. Is this the fight that we really wanted on Cinco de Mayo weekend? No, and all boxing fans know this. The fight that we should be getting is David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. But I think Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia is definitely a better matchup than Canelo Alvarez versus Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo is still trying to figure himself out. Yes, he did have a boxing fight in late 2023, but I think he still needs more time to develop his game before we can say Jermall Charlo is truly back. I don't think that Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berglinga would have been a good fight. I just think that lacked a flavor of a matchup, and I think Canelo Alvarez would have ran through Edgar Berlanga. Oh my God, Edgar Berlanga, as I get tongue-tied. But yes, I think Canelo Alvarez would have ran through Edgar Berlanga. But I think this could be a good fight between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia. We'll see when the truth is told, May 4th, in the world of boxing. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.